Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode on the channel. Season 4 well underway at this point, and it has been an interesting season so far. Kyle Larson finally going to victory lane at last episode, putting himself into the playoffs now as we are headed road racing this weekend here in all three series, and I'm actually competing in all three series this weekend. Trucks, Xfinity, as well as Cup. We're doing all of it here, so triple duty. It's going to be a fun one as we come through into the actual configuration that NASCAR uses now of Sonoma. We actually had Jack Hawksworth in a fifth Joe Gibbs racing car this weekend in the number 81 Mobil 1 Toyota Camry. That's going to be exciting to see how he does. As well, Martin Truex Jr. behind the wheel of the Junior Motorsports number 7 Bass Pro Shops Chevrolet as we come through into this qualifying on Saturday now. And we had some news coming into this one. Two bits of news that I'm going to talk about as you see our qualifying lap there on the left side behind the camera. Actually recording this on new pedals for the first time because my pedals broke last week, so I had to get some new ones. But we had two bits of news, one of them pretty big, and it involves us specifically and sponsorship. It was announced, unfortunately, this week here, Top Golf is going to be pulling out of NASCAR following Season 4 of this career mode, which means that our primary sponsor will be gone following this season. Of course, Top Golf has been our primary since we've come into the Cup Series with Colleague Racing, and they have remained as a primary sponsor all the way through to now, but they will be leaving the sport at the end of this season. In other news, Kevin Harvick addressed the controversy with Chase Purdy and firing him and simply said that it just wasn't working out with Purdy in the Xfinity Series program towards the specifically last half of the season, and they just decided to not re-sign him into the program. And of course, Purdy was not happy about that. He felt like he should be on the Cup Series roster, and Harvick and him apparently just simply had a falling out, and that was as far as we learned here. Now, as our qualifying puts us in P3, row number 2, and look at this. On pole position, it's going to be Kyle Larson, joined by rookie Connor Zilish, who's expected to be tremendous on the road courses in his rookie season. Myself, Bell, and Chastain, the top 5. In the top 10, rounded out by Corey Heim, Blaney, SVG, William Byron, as well as you see the rest of the order. Truex in 22nd, Hawksworth up there in P17. So a solid effort for him. But all the way at the bottom of the grid, how about Joey Logano in 37th? It's not been a pretty season so far for Joey Logano since Daytona. Not sure what's been going on there, but they have some work to do. Like I said, triple duty this weekend. We had Truck Series and Xfinity Series both on Saturday, with the Truck Series coming first. And a bit of a surprise, Stephen Malazzi actually qualifies P1 pole position there for the number 22, as we were P6 here, looking to try and find some ways forward right off the bat here. 7 laps of racing, no stages actually. We're doing no stages on this road course here for Trucks or Xfinity this weekend. Cup Series still does have stages now as we continue on up the elevation and moving ourselves into the top 5. There was good speed behind this number 1 Toyota Tundra, but it wasn't enough early on to keep up with Malazzi, who was actually driving away. We got a bit of third, passing Bailey Curry, and then next up was Tyler Ankrum, and by the time we come through to start lap 3, we're going for an overtake on Ankrum, but Stephen Malazzi was gone. He had driven away, and his number 22 said see you later, and we would spend the rest of the race trying to run him down. Actually, Tyler Ankrum, who we just passed, actually ended up having issues, so he had to come into the pit lane, and that would put him down to last place, but I had nothing. Stephen Malazzi actually passing Ankrum at the end, lapping him, would win. He wins his first Truck Series race, and we end up P2. We were closing in at the end, you can see it there, but yeah, I mean, I had nothing at the end of the day for him. We'll take second place nonetheless. Max Verstappen, by the way, was in the field for this race, doing a few Truck Series starts this season, maybe eyeing up a Project 91 possible run as well, as you see the rest of the finishing order on your screen. Xfinity Series, we're behind the wheel of the number 26 Toyota Supra for Sam Hunt Racing, actually, and we put it P4 behind the front row of Daniel Suarez in that Trackhouse Honda, and AJ Allmendinger and Martin Truex Jr. In the field for JRM again here in the Xfinity Series as well, starting actually just behind me. You can see that bright orange Bass Pro Shops front bumper there lined up now with us as I'm already into the back of AJ Allmendinger in these opening moments, right on the back of that former teammate, of course, for Colleague Racing now. But actually, look at this big moment here. Suarez checks up for whatever reason and absolutely destroys his momentum, my momentum, of course. We damage a car even, and Allmendinger would go through to the lead, and we even lose a spot to Truex, and it wasn't until lap 4, midway through the lap, when we finally get past the JRM driver of Martin Truex Jr., and we would then focus in on Suarez, and it would take us a little bit to run down that 99, but Suarez doesn't quite have the speed here in the race. We run him down by the end of lap 5, a lunge up the inside into the final hairpin, and leaning on the door of the 99, we take P2, and we would find the pace. We start closing in on the number 14 of AJ Allmendinger here as these laps wind down, and it was far from over 2 laps to go, and suddenly we find ourselves within somewhat striking distance. Definitely going to need to put up a banger of a final lap, and we come to the final lap, and look at this. We continue to reel in this number 14 of Allmendinger now. We might have a genuine chance to win this race. We are going to have a chance to win this race now to the back half of the circuit, and we're within a few car lengths of the Colleague driver now. He's trying to put himself in the playoffs here in the Xfinity Series. Now, of course, full-time Allmendinger is in this series. We come out of that final bend with a run up the inside into the final turn on Allmendinger. We've won here in the Cup Series, but not in the Xfinity Series, but a pass in the final turn on our former teammate's going to put us in front to the line. One corner left. Allmendinger shows it was not enough. We win the Xfinity Series race here from Sonoma Raceway now. A second in the Truck Series, a win in Xfinity. What does that mean for Cup as we return to the new, old, whatever you want to call it, current layout here of Sonoma Raceway now as we get ready for some Cup Series action on Sunday now. But a great way to kick off this triple duty weekend as you see the rest of the finishing order on your screen. And yes, we're just feeling the momentum now. It's been an up and down season on the Cup Series side, but you have a couple of races like that. Things are looking pretty good going into the Cup Series. Let's get ready to go racing Sunday afternoon from Sonoma Raceway.
We're in wine country for our first road race of the year. Young Connor Zilisch is set to take on Kyle Larson from the front row today. Does he have what it takes, Kevin?
Absolutely, Mike. This kid is incredible on road courses. He will be hard to beat today.
All right, mate, be ready for anything today. One thing for sure is we have the best driver to win this race.
Yes, sir. I couldn't agree more, James. Yeah, let's be after it all day today, guys, and try to be there at the end. Joey Logano has been struggling all weekend. Our teammate of Christopher Bell starts from the back again after crashing in qualifying. That's going to be a hard one for him to go forward. He qualified P4, gives up that 4th position now as we will maintain P3 on the grid. Kyle Larson and rookie for Andretti Global, Connor Zilisch, lead the field to green as we head down, or up, hill, I should say, here towards these first couple of corners. There's Ross Chastain in that Busch Watermelon, very bright green Trackhouse Honda, as we're going to be side by side up the elevation. Connor Zilisch clear for the lead. He gets Larson, and now he's going to try and take off immediately now, and here's Chastain still looking up the inside. How about Corey Heim, of course, one of the Rookie of the Year contenders there in that third 2311 Racing Toyota Camry. Now we're side by side with Chastain as we head down the short chute towards the next right hand, and Zilisch opens up a couple car length gap on Larson, who opens up a several car length gap on Chastain and myself, who's both of us refusing to lift wheel to wheel through the S's section on this first of 7 laps in stage number 1. Heim shows a nose as well. Here comes Shane Van Gisbergen already into the mix, winner of this race last season. That was the race where he really asserted himself as, hey, I'm here, I'm a full-time Cup Series regular, and I'm going to be around for a while. And Shane Van Gisbergen has had a hot start to the season. Of course, last episode didn't quite work out for him. He's had a few bad breaks so far this season, but we know the speed is there, and that 97 and SVG has continued to get better on ovals. We already know what he's capable of on road courses. We had a heck of a battle with him last season here in Sonoma, where we finished second. We've already won at Sonoma Raceway, of course. This was home of our second career win in our Cup Series career with Colleague Racing, when when we made that move on Martin Truex Jr. on the final lap after that heck of a battle with him. So our last few finishes here have been great. Runner-up last season, a win this season before. What's it going to be today? Well, Kyle Larson and Connor Zilisch, they've driven 4 seconds down the road from Chastain and myself, and I'm putting some pressure on the one because his teammate of Shane Van Gisbergen, after fighting with Corey Heim, had run us down. So now it was time to go on lap 4 of 7 of stage 1. Here we go, a lunge up the inside of that Busch Light Watermelon Honda, and now we're going to be wheel to wheel on the exit of the right-hander there. You see that 97 SVG, but we get clear of Chastain, now nearly losing it over the curbing, but now it's time to try and drive away from that Trackhouse duo, Kyle Busch, of course the only Trackhouse driver with a win this season, not far behind. All Trackhouse cars right now inside the top 10, and Trackhouse really feels like a new team this season with, of course, Honda coming in, and Honda's loving things right now. 2 wins on the season already in their debut to the series, both with Kyle Busch, of course, the back-to-back wins in race 2 and 3, but now they've got Connor Zilisch leading the way. Rajan Carruth in the number 48 with a tire failure, and that's going to be an early end to the 48's day. The bad luck continues for the Hendrick Motorsports rookie who just can't catch a break. That's going to be his 3rd DNF already this season. Of course, none of it his doing. It's just been terrible luck, and I believe that Carruth could be last in the points still. Following today's episode, we've seen speed out of the 48 when things aren't going wrong, but we haven't seen the finishes. And of course, we've seen some terrible luck. He's had some terrible breaks with strategy as well. As we come through to the final lap at this point in stage number 1, a comfortable gap on 4th and 5th of Chastain and SVG. Zilisch and Larson, they have completely run away as we slide on the exit of the right-hander into the concrete barrier. We somehow hit it square and reduce the damage, and here comes Chastain and SVG, who check up big time for myself, but I go wide, of course, with a terrible entrance to the corner. Chastain slips through. Zilisch wins stage 1, his first career stage win over Larson, as SVG's up my inside through the final hairpin. Just behind is Corey Heim. We drop down to P5. What an absolute mess on the final lap, as I just completely lost the rear end.
I'm sorry, I just simply lost it there. We definitely have a bit of damage.
Doesn't look too bad. We can fix it for sure.
You hear our spotter, new spotter this season, that is Jay Cook, just saying, hey, it looks okay for the most part, definitely fixable. Blaney picks up the last stage point. Byron, of course, in the fight right now for the regular season, point lead up here in the top 10. Kyle Larson as well, of course, running tremendous in that number 5. We're going to be tightening up the car for obvious reasons that you just saw. So yeah, that's the adjustments we'll make. 2 seconds of repairs is going to maybe drop us a position or 2. So we come into the pit lane P5, and sure enough, we're down to P8 on the right side of the track behind 3 Trackhouse cars right in front of us, and then Corey Heim as well in the number 11. Connor Zilisch, Kyle Larson lead the field back to green. Here we go on the run towards these first few corners. 10 laps this time in stage 2, a lengthy one now, 3 extra laps. How about the Meyer Shank 06 of Austin Cindric on our left side there? Of course, Cindric we know is going to be strong when it comes to the road courses now. Last season, Daniel Suarez piloted that 06 car, always ran great on the road courses. Meyer Shank Racing expects to be good on road courses in general. That's their background now, as Zilisch clears Larson into the first of 2 double right-handers now, and here we are looking for a move on Kyle Busch. Couldn't quite make it happen right there, as we're right on the back of the 99 Trackhouse Honda now, side by side with our Alliance teammate there at 2311 Corey Heim. We clear him now up into P6, so from P8 to P6 in about half a lap, and right to the back of the 99 Kyle Busch, a top 10 car, but clearly there's quite a big difference between the speed in the 99 and the speed in a car like us, or the 5 or the 28 of Connor Zilisch. We're just that much faster. Chastain did lose a spot to Shane Van Gisbergen, so SVG becomes a top Trackhouse car now, and we're all over the back of the number 1 now. As you can see, maybe his true pace starting to show, and SVG's putting pressure on Larson. Connor Zilisch is driving away. Larson kept him honest in stage 1. We're not seeing that early on in stage 2. A move now up the inside of the 1 will clear Ross Chastain for a position. Thank you very much. Tyler Reddick, as this is happening, is coming into the pit lane. A tire failure on the 45 Money Lion Toyota Camry. It's not going to be the end of the day for him, but it's certainly going to be costly now. Reddick into the pits under green. We saw, of course, Carruth with a tire failure already, but it, unfortunately for him, ended his day, of course, I guess, tore the car apart in some form. You see myself right there battling a little bit with the handling still of the car, but nonetheless we're in good shape. I do believe we have a car that can contend for the win. We just need to find that position, and we've already lost it, of course, at the beginning of Stage 2. We're not going to find it before the stage is over with the pace that Zilish is setting, so it's all about already setting ourselves up for Stage 3. I mean, look at that 28 Andretti Global machine. He's driving away. Larson and SVG right in front of us. We got big trouble on the front straightaway. That's Truex, and that's the 3 of Austin Hill crashing. No caution. We have a pile up on the front straightaway and no caution. 2 episodes in a row where we're certainly going to see a questionable no yellow call. It is a road course, but here's a replay. Truex loses it. A tire goes down. Austin Hill plows into him, and as well the 60 of Haley, Keselowski, a bunch of drivers getting involved there, and then they hit each other again. How in the world do we not have a caution on that one? We stay green and we focus in. Now we're up towards the back of Shane Van Gisbergen, and I say that we just completely threw a bunch of the time we made up away with one bad corner. And I actually would have just a really rough lap 7 in general. And you can see just a few bad apexes, and that time would increase dramatically. So all the time again was lost, and now with 3 laps to go in Stage 2, trying to reel these guys back in, see what we can do as well. Just making sure, like I said already, to set ourselves up well for Stage 3, which I think we're doing a good job of here. If we can end Stage 2 at least P4, we're going to have a really good opportunity starting Row 2 in Stage 3 to do something. Now Larson continues to maintain P2. Zilish continues to drive off in the distance now. What a statement it would be if he could find a way to victory lane. Of course, this season you don't have to be in the top 30 to make the playoffs with a victory. You just got to be full time. So this is going to get interesting now. A huge high-speed impact into the tire barriers. That's going to end Stage 2 as Haley has a massive crash, and the caution is out a few laps early to end the stage. Zilish sweeps Stage 1 and 2 as everybody's going to come into the pits for 4 tires and feel what an impact for the number 60, and somehow his race is not going to be over. We gain nothing, we lose nothing. We're P4. For the start of Stage 3, Kyle Busch overtakes his teammate of Ross Chastain as we get ready for the third and final stage, which is 19 laps. A lot of racing remains here from Sonoma Raceway. 21 down, 19 to go as we're all over the back of the number 5 of Larson, who tries to keep the nose up the inside of Connor Zilish, and I think it's crucial here to make sure Zilish doesn't get away with the lead because he'll drive away. We clear SVG, we take the position now. SVG doesn't quite have that car he had here last season. Wheel to wheel, Lawrenson putting the pressure on Zilish, but I see what's happening here. I can switch back both of these guys and get them both maybe. Here we go, a 3-wide move down the short chute, and we might get them both. In towards the right-hander, we clear Larson, and up the inside, we might clear Zilish, and that Cobalt Honda we do. We take the lead. What a move here in Sonoma Raceway on lap 22 to the point here now with 19 laps to go, slipping and sliding around. That's been a bit of a trend today for us in this 19 Top Golf machine. Off the news, of course, that Top Golf will not be returning at the season's end. We put the Top Golf Toyota Camry at the front of the field with these closing laps underway, but it's 19 laps at a road course. That's a lot of racing now. We leave the door open for Zilish, who shows the nose up the inside, but we got the runoff. We take off again and clear him by a few car lengths even as we cross the stripe, and now it's our turn to try and command this field. We know that number 28 of Connor Zilish, he's a rookie. We got now 3 full seasons of experience, not only just of NASCAR, but road racing specifically now under our belt. We've won road courses before. We are no stranger to the success at this track or other road courses. Now, road courses really are a bit of our bread and butter. We love our road racing here in the NASCAR Cup Series now, and here we are trying to specialize a little bit further to hold off a road racing ringer of Connor Zilish, who continues to prove in real life that he can adapt to just about anything now, but he was keeping me very honest. Lap 24 coming to 25, and you can see the gap has not increased at all to Zilish. There was a few moments throughout the lap where I would pull out a little bit, and then there was other parts of the circuit where he would reel me back in and, well, keep it interesting. Nonetheless, 15 laps to go at this point. Lap 26 coming to lap 27. We're still in control, and we're actually going to do a little bit of a through the grid here now as we come through to cross the stripe in front here. Now you see Zilish, Larson, SVG, Chastain, your top 5, followed by Kyle Busch, Austin Cindric, Elliott Heim having a great run. Byron just inside the top 10 over Busher and Jack Hawksworth there in that 5th Joe Gibbs Racing car. As you see the rest of the field coming through. Ty Gibbs having a bit of a rough day. He crosses the stripe now in front of Todd Gilliland as well. And here comes Christopher Bell and Bubba Wallace. Bell started at the back trying to work his way forwards as well. You see our teammate in the Oreo colors, Chandler Smith, right there in that blue car, crosses the stripe. He's having a rough day. Bubba Wallace, Joey Logano. Logano just, we don't know what's been going on with him. Something's just not been right with that 22 this season now, and I'm sure Logano's frustration is increasing because it's still early in the season, but we have a couple less races in the regular season, of course, which is going to be crucial when we get down to the end of things here at the end of this regular season. So it's interesting, to say the least, and Logano and Penske Racing need to figure things out. And look at our rear view mirror, it's still full of Connor Zilish. Both of us are putting a bit of a gap on Larson, but not a lot. Zilish, though, I mean, obviously the one putting the real pressure on us here. Lap 29 to 40 at this point. A bit of a moment over the curbing up the elevation now. Zilish closes within a few car lengths now, and yeah, he's just not leaving me any opportunity to be comfortable. And I can't really get into that vibe I need to just run away, because he's just kind of pouncing on us now as we go behind the camera here in our actual mid-race little report here now. I mean, for me, I was happy with where the balance of the car was. It's just, we just don't have the speed capable of driving away from Zilish. Byron crashes now in these final parts of the track. What's happened there to the 24? It's been a big impact into the concrete wall and head on into the barrier. That's a massive impact for the 24, and it's day over for William Byron. We stay green. No caution here. A couple of big impacts today in Sonoma. Justin Haley had a massive one earlier, maybe even harder than the 24. Of course, the caution did come out for that one and ended the stage. NASCAR keeps it green, so 10 laps of racing to go. We're about halfway through stage number 3 at this point. No sign of a caution. We've never gone yellow free in the final stage at Sonoma, I don't think. So this could be something new as we return to the current layout that NASCAR uses IRL for the first time in this career mode. Let me know, by the way, if you guys want this layout to stay or if we should go back to the one we were using. I'm cool with either one here now as we approach lap 33 now, and the broadcast crew is actually in our pit box, and they're going to talk to James Small about strategy as we come through to start 8 laps to go in Sonoma.
We've got James Small on the radio while he watches his driver lead the field. James, what's the play going to be here?
Honestly, we're basing our call off what the 28th does. We're catching traffic, so that will play a factor too.
What do you make of Zilish pressuring your driver out there right now?
He's doing great, but I'm confident in my driver.
All right, good luck.
So there you hear James Small and him talking about strategy and a few other things, as well as we focus in now on just running our race and maintaining that gap over Zilish. We do have to pit before this race is over, so we're not far away from it either. Now we have about 5 or so laps of field, and look at this, we're closing in on lap traffic. That's Austin Hill, who's having a terrible race at the very back of the grid. Eric Jones, who's had a solid season so far for Front Row Motorsports, is actually running second to last in the running order. Jesse Love not running very well. The only RCR driver doing anything today is Alex Bowman, who's been showing up a few times this season, but RCR, of course, in a total rebrand. But we are running down these guys quick. We're going to be on them at the end of this lap here. Now, we can make it on fuel if we pit now, but the question is, what's Connor Zilish going to do? As we're going to get right to the back of the 8 now as we approach lap 35. We'll show the nose, and Zilish is pitting. Connor Zilish has been called into the pits. That's a big move right there, and that forces our hand, because we know right there he was within, of course, half a second. He kept us honest all stage long, but now the intensity, the urgency is high, because now Zilish has an opportunity to overtake us, because we're going to get stuck behind these cars. Zilish catches us off guard. guard, and you can already see losing time behind the 34 of Eric Jones. We are going to have to pit this lap, but we might have to do something different now, because at 28 he took 4 tires, which was what my intention was of doing, but we're losing time trying to pass these cars. So now we're going to have to do something to keep us in front of that 28.
Okay, can you beat the 28th if you come out behind him?
I don't think so. He just run away.
Okay, Pete, here we have to do 2 tires.
What the is the 38 doing, man?
Don't worry. Keep cool here. Hit your marks.
Urgency is high. We are forced into a 2-tire stop because Zilish would easily be ahead if we do the 4 tires like he did as well, and I don't think we can pass him if he gets out in front of us now as well. We get held up behind the 42. Let's see what it's going to be. We're exiting now, and we are going to be ahead of Connor Zilish. That's crucial. Where is Zilish? Here he comes right now. So if we did 4 tires, it would have been close, but he definitely would have been ahead. It'll be Larson and SVG 3rd and 4th, but now we're in front still. Of course, right now P10 on the racetrack because these guys in front of us still have to pit, but we got lap traffic that we're still going to be dealing with. And now the question is, what can Zilish do on 4 fresh tires compared to my 2 fresh tires that I have? The gap right now is 4.7 seconds to Connor Zilish, and it would come down to 3.5, 3.4 by the time we come to a lap later. Zilish is putting those tires to use. We're up to P2 now. The only one left to pit is Alex Bowman. It looks like we might go green the whole stage. Zilish 3.4 seconds now, but there you see 3.5, 3.6. He's actually being held up by a little bit of traffic, which is perfect for us, as Zilish, we know, has the pace. He is quicker than us by a significant amount right now, but he's got to get through traffic. That's his new issue, as now Bowman pits from the lead. We will retake the lead here and put ourselves in position to win, but Zilish now, who's faster, is stuck behind traffic. He's just now making a pass on the 42 of John Hunter Nemechek, but the next car he has to pass is my teammate of Chandler Smith in the 18. That's going to be no easy feat for the number 28. Now he would close the gap back down to 3.7 seconds. So as soon as he got past the 42, he started outrunning me easily, but now he's behind the 18. He's right on the back bumper of Chandler Smith, and we've got 2 cars in between us and Zilish, the faster car, trying to get there, but he's going to have to navigate traffic, and you can see he's stuck. He runs into the back of the 18 there, you can see, but Smith with a defensive line, being a true teammate, not making it easy with 2 laps to go. What an interesting race this has turned into. It's been a fully green final stage, only 1 caution for cause today, and we find ourselves in position to win. It all came from an aggressive 3-wide move on the very first lap of stage 3. Zilish cannot pass the 18 as we come to the final lap in Sonoma Raceway. What a race! We don't need chaos. We don't need crashes all the time to make it an interesting and thrilling race. I mean, we certainly still had the accidents, I should say. We just don't need the cautions and the restarts for chaos and for entertainment, I should say. Here now, the final lap well underway at this point up the inside, putting one of our Alliance teammates of Bubba Wallace a lap down here for 2311 Racing. What a season it has been for us here at Joe Gibbs Racing. We don't have the best car today, but we've played our cards right, and we were forced into a 2-tire stop, which ended up being the way to go. It worked out perfect. Zilish is faster, but he doesn't have the track position, and he doesn't have the lap traffic helping him out here now. As Daytona, we picked up the 500 crown jewel victory. We haven't had a car capable of running top 10 since, but we've managed to finish top 10 in every race so far this season, and that's going to continue today because we come through the final corner now, and we've already won Sonoma once in our career. We're going to be a 2-time Sonoma winner today. Win number 2 on the season, the second multi-time winner in season 4.
Wow. What a day, guys. James, what a call. Unbelievable. We shouldn't have won that, but it worked out. Thank you, guys.
Great drive, mate. Awesome. Win number 2.
What a weird season this is so far now. We continue finishing top 10 in every race, but we're still not leading the regular season standings. Now you'll see the finishing order is Zilish, Larson, SVG, and Busher. How about Chris Busher? How did he manage a top 5 out of it? He just kind of snuck his way up the order. Jack Hawksworth for the 81 JGR car in the top 10. Kyle Busch the top 10 as well. Corey Heim with a great effort. Briscoe, Hocevar, Gregson, solid efforts from them. Gibbs and Bell, mediocre efforts. Bowman Cullen in the top 20, as well our teammate Chandler Smith in 25th. But we, of course, look towards the bottom part of the order. Joey Logano with a terrible, terrible day, 31st now. Byron, of course, and Truex Carruth DNFs for them. 2 Hendrick cars DNF with tire failures. In the regular season standings, Kyle Larson's ahead by 7 points now after Sonoma, and it's not over Byron, it's over myself. Byron, of course, drops a lot of points there, but he's P3 in the regular season standings. I think we'll stick to just showing the top 10 for the regular season standings. Gilliland currently wraps up that top 10. In the playoff situation, right now, Ty Gibbs is the last driver in, and it's only by 1 single point over Alex Bowman. It is so tight currently, but of course, we have only done a handful of races. How about Zane Smith, who's put himself into the mix? Noah Gregson, host of our Junior Motorsports, having a very solid debut season in the Cup Series. Connor Zilish, of course, did himself well today. What an interesting start to the season. 2 multi-time winners so far. It's interesting. In the next episode, we'll be headed to Bristol, a short track race, which I'm excited to kick off in the next one. I'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.